After dark.
What is up, DramaAlert Nation? I'm your host, Killer Keemstar. Let's get right
Into the news! Guys!
Tfue is suing Faze Clan. It just broke today. This is unbelievable. The Hollywood Reporter is reporting that esports pro sues gaming organization Faze Clan over oppressive contract. Unbelievable. The article goes on to say this. Tfue says he's missing out on opportunities because Faze Clan's unlawful activity in connection with a deal signed on April 2018. And he only gets to keep 20% of the revenue he makes from brand videos that were published on Twitch, YouTube, or any other social media, and only half of his revenue from touring appearances. Unbelievable. Faze Clan was taking 80% of Tfue's money? Tfue makes millions. Then the article also goes on to say that Tfue says Faze Clan pressured him to live in one of its homes in the Hollywood Hills with other young YouTubers, where he says he was given alcohol before turning 21 and encouraged to illegally gamble. Unbelievable. We even grabbed a copy of the lawsuit, and I knew right away I had to talk to Tfue to find out if it was real. He confirmed it was real. Then I reached out to Faze Banks, and I said, I cannot believe any of this. And he said he is coming on DramaAlert for an interview. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are interviewing the leader and owner of Faze Clan, Faze Banks. Roll it. Ladies and gentlemen, I have Faze Banks on the line, the leader and owner of Faze Clan. When this news broke today, all right, everyone was shocked to hear that basically Faze Clan is taking 80% of Tfue's money. Is this true?
Absolutely 1,000% untrue. The short answer is we have collected and earned $60,000 from Tfue since we originally started our relationship, which was about a year and a half ago.
Well, that's so definitely not 80%.
It's no, I don't even think that's 80% of what Tfue makes in a day. So that's the short answer. The long answer is this. So let me break down the math for a second. So 80% of prize winnings, I don't know where that came from. We have collected a grand total of 0% of Tfue's prize winnings, $0 and 0 cents, absolutely nothing. We have collected nothing from his Twitch, his YouTube, absolutely nothing. Where the $60,000 comes from are 2 brand deals that we brought Tfue that we had taken 20% of, which is very standard. I mean, you know this in the world we live in, 80-20, a 20% finder's fee, and obviously we have a legal team and all that stuff.
It's usually somewhere between 10 and 20%. So I guess that would be maybe considered on the high end, but still, if you're bringing him the brand deal, you know, Faze Clan should get a piece of that.
Honestly, 80-20 is pretty standard considering we do all the legal due diligence. We handle the contracts. We mediate the relationship.
Well,
we tell them what they need to do. I mean, it's the exact same thing I run myself with the company. If the company finds me a brand deal, anytime I've ever done a brand deal with full screen, for example, when they bring me brand deals, it's 80-20. I've actually never personally received a brand deal for 90-10. Let me know if you got people out there finding fire brand deals for that rate. But,
well, I would say that
I mean, either way, listen. I don't even want to you can ask me whatever you want. Obviously, I got nothing to hide, but $60,000 is the number.
Well, I would say that nobody would even be mad at Faze Clan for taking 20% of a brand deal that they bring them. But people are DMing me and they're saying, you know, Faze Clan's taking part of his Twitch sub money and stuff like
that. Absolutely not. Listen, this is what fucking fires me up. And listen, I saw all you little fucking snakes on Twitter. I'm not even gonna name drop because I'm pretty emotional right now. Like this specifically, and I'm gonna get into all that. This situation specifically with Tfue, really fires me up because I've been so emotionally invested in this kid from the day that I met him. And anybody DMing you, we take the sub money, whatever. I mean, this relationship is between myself, my company, and Turner, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't necessarily handle all the business stuff, and I know that this isn't aimed toward me. I haven't spoke to Turner. He hasn't tweeted anything out. I literally just woke the fuck up, and I'm dealing with this stuff. But
guys, Banks is not like the business dude.
Tfue is obviously.
He doesn't handle all the higher up stuff, man.
Right now, I mean, right now, as we're talking, before you upload this
Yeah,
video,
thank you. The investors are making the
probably
moves, not
collecting
Banks.
millions and millions of dollars off this kid.
I mean, obviously,
He's getting
Tfue
hammered.
has made millions.
Listen,
so
these
yeah.
are the millions of dollars per month, multiples of millions of dollars every single month.
Right.
Okay. I'm not going to give an exact number because that isn't my place, but he's making an absurd amount of money. And what we have profited off of him. And think about this for a second. Think about
80-20 is standard.
You specifically know my relationship with Turner, my intimate relationship.
For brand deals, dude, 80-20 is pretty standard. If it depends on how much money you're making. If you're like a normal influencer who isn't making millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, 80-20 is very much like that's it. It's 80-20, 100% on the way. But like once you start hitting like big numbers, and you have a lot more leniency, and you have a lot more power. So like if you're like, honestly, people like Turner and myself, it is you have all the power, right? You have all the influence. You have all these fans. So you have like you shouldn't be paying 20% of anything to anyone because you're doing so many deals and the deals are already making so much money that 10%, like 10% of what you're making, like if the brand deal, right, if you're the manager takes 10%, whoever of the company who's handling it takes 10%, that's more than 20% of what they'll make a year off of like people who are doing 80-20 splits. Right? So the more money you make, the more money the brand deals are, the more money you're getting from sponsorships, like you have the power to be like, look, you guys, like, all this money, right? All this money, all these big brand deals, it's coming because of how popular I am. You guys don't deserve 20% of a $2 million deal or a $3 million deal. When the reason that it is $3 million and $2 million is because of the person that you're representing is so massive, right? So like if it's like you know what I mean? That's how that. So like, so 10% of 2 million, and 20% of a $500,000, $1 million deal, like things like that. You know what I mean? Like you just gotta weigh it, right?
With him, and I'm gonna get into that in a second. But imagine that. Imagine this kid has made a gross amount of money, and we've collected a grand total of $60,000 from him.
Well,
So
not only that, but also FaZe Clan paid.
One thing I also want to say real quick is Banks keeps saying. And I'm playing devil's advocate, by the way. I am not on one side, okay? I'm using this as a moment to teach you guys about contracts and deals and what is legit, right? What is legitimate. And Banks keeps saying that they have only taken $60,000. There could be, from what we don't know, there could be like money that is owed that they haven't taken yet. That's a possibility. I don't think that's the case, but that is a possibility. There's a possibility that FaZe legally, if the contract's in there, could take that much money. They're just not doing it. You know what I mean?
Pays Tfue a salary every month, right?
Well, we'll get into that. We do offer him a salary, but he hasn't accepted it. I'm gonna get into all this. I'm gonna lay it all out. Yeah, no, he is offered a salary. We've been in renegotiation with him since basically the beginning. I'm just gonna bring it all the way back to the beginning with Tfue, okay?
Right.
So for those of you who don't know, you've probably never known who Tfue was before he was in FaZe Clan. You've probably only ever known FaZe Tfue because when I met Tfue, I think he averaged around 100, maybe 150.
April, the only reason you know who Tfue was is because we used to match up against each other back in the day in H1Z1, so don't.
50 viewers on Twitch. He's been a long-time Twitch streamer. He's a multi-platform pro. He's the greatest.
He joined on April 30th, and we have his Twitch stats here. When he joined his FaZe Clan, his Twitch views just skyrocketed.
I want you guys to understand something very important too. FaZe and Banks have every right to be super emotional. What you guys are about to see right now, Sunday, April 1st, this is the day, like this is when Tfue got signed with FaZe. Look at these graphs.
Skyrocketed. You can see right here, looking at the social blade. Also, the same thing on his YouTube, which I'm throwing up on the screen right now.
Listen, we're gonna get into all this, and listen. This isn't how I want it to be at all. Like I really don't. I can love Turner. I still do. I have my suspicions on where this lawsuit came from and where it came to be. Turner has a dad who's like kind of a dadager. He's like his manager and he's his dad, and his dad's pretty out there. I love his dad too. I met his dad hung out at his house for a weekend. But his dad's fucking out there, man. He's pretty wild. The numbers this guy comes up with and some of the stuff this guy says is crazy.
I love Keem's face throughout these interviews.
Turner signed any sort of lawsuit, I don't believe that. I for sure know he did not expect this to be public. I know it because it's just not in his best interest for any of this stuff to come out.
It seems like he did an interview. It seems like he did an interview with who broke the story here, the Hollywood Reporter. And at one part, it not only says that
Andy, love you, bro. I think the 69 months
was taking 80% of his money, but it also says that Faze Clan pressured him into moving in one of the mansions and pressured him.
Hold on. It said something about him. He did an interview about this.
Yeah.
Okay. See, like again, if that's the truth, then I'm just heartbroken. Like I mean,
the statements appear to be coming from Turner, and it says.
Listen, the fact of the matter is Turner's unhappy with his contract. He's under his original contract from the beginning of when we signed him. When he, like I said, when he was getting 100 viewers, right?
Right.
We haven't collected on any of the stuff that we had in there, like his Twitch, his YouTube. We've collected nothing, and we've told him we plan on collecting nothing. Let's get to a new contract that you can appreciate, that we can all be happy with. We don't want to lose you. Fucking obviously, I love the kid, whatever. But if that's the truth, I mean that fucking.
Well, the article says this. The article says this. Tfue,
I want to touch on that pressured thing real quick.
Though, well, let me read it. Let me read the statement to you. It says Tfue says Faze Clan pressured him into living into one of his homes in the Hollywood Hills with young YouTubers, where he says he was given alcohol before turning 21 and encouraged to illegally gamble.
Illegally gamble?
That's what it says in the article.
I just want to throw something out there real quick. Being pressured into drinking when you're not 21. I mean, literally everyone and their mother, not everyone and their mother. I mean, dude, it's like a thing. You go to college, you drink when you're 18, 19. I don't encourage or think that anyone should drink underage. But like, dude. I also, like, if you guys have watched Turner, I feel like he's not a goody two-shoes. So, to me, I feel like that might, I don't even know if that is, like, from Turner or in the actual lawsuit. That's just weird. It's like, I'm throwing that out there.
Don't know what that means, illegally gamble. I literally don't even have a thought in my head as to what that could be about. Listen, this is all bullshit, though. Remember when I told you I met Tfue when he had 100 viewers? I watched this kid every day. I played with this kid every day. I ran into Juke Squad he told me that he was Tfue's brother.
Right.
I started pretty quickly. I decided, I want to recruit this kid. I really want him on the team.
Minutes. Let's go.
I was there at that.
Hold on. Listen. This whole thing that we
Yo, also Deluxe Canadian. I want to let you know that the Fortnite Fridays performance and all that stuff, Keemstar hosted those, and the only reason that that Tfue got into those is because he was in Faze. Keemstar let him in because he was a part of Faze Clan Deluxe. So he actually would not have even made it into Fortnite Fridays unless he was a part of Faze. That's just
a drink. One of my earliest memories of Turner was me and his DMs like, yo, do you want to play Fortnite? Again, when he was a nobody and I was doing my thing. And obviously he jumped at any opportunity to play with me. We got along, we vibed out, and he was obviously down to play with me. One of my earliest memories is him coming back home after being on a boat all day. His words, not mine. And he was cocked. He was drinking all day on a boat. So this was far before we ever met him. Turner's drank far before that we got together with him, and he was never pressured to drink.
I love you, Tfue, but this is the part where I'm like, okay, this is BS.
Listen, dude, that's the thing. I don't know what the listen, Turner, if Turner knowingly is saying all this and putting this out into the public, then it's a serious problem.
Well, I did reach out to Tfue, and I asked him for confirmation if the lawsuit was legit and real and all this was real, and he just basically said, yeah, well, he gave me the emoji okay sign, like, oh, yeah, okay, like it's real, but I don't know if that's a statement.
I mean, then I'm gonna regardless. I'm gonna make an in-depth video on my relationship with Turner, on how we met, on what the did for this kid in depth, on what Faze Clan. I mean, because I am Faze Clan. did for this kid. Listen, all we've ever done for.
So you feel
Turner,
betrayed?
Absolutely. I mean, if that's the truth, I don't want to listen. I probably should have done a little bit more research before I came in here, honestly.
Yeah.
But if that's the truth, then there's a serious problem. I mean, listen, his current girlfriend, Corinna, he met her at a party at the houses, right? And I know for a fact he was drinking. He wasn't pressured into doing that. He wasn't coerced into doing that. Like, what the is that?
That's the part that makes me laugh.
Listen,
because
there's another thing too in there that I saw. I had a quick glance at about like stunts and like we pressured or we forced him into doing stunts, which he was injured from. First of all, I don't remember Tfue ever being fucking injured ever. I actually remember specifically me telling him, "Yo, dude, be careful. We can't lose those hands. Like we can't like you don't."
I will also say that, yeah, I mean, dude, Turner's always been like crazy, dude. He's been into like little crazy like exports. He knows how to skateboard. He does like backflips off of bridges and stuff like that. Like he's always been like wild side. So I don't know about being forced.
Everybody knows that before FaZe Clan, Tfue was jumping off of bridges and doing stunts.
Shit,
yeah,
which
everyone
cool,
knows that.
Everybody thought it was cool. One of the first things he wanted to do when he landed here in LA, we walked up to the Hollywood Reservoir and he jumped off. And if anything, dude, the truth is, Turner fucking pressured everybody else to do it. He's like, come on, don't be a pussy. Whatever, which is cool. It's just boys being boys. Like, we're all friends. It has nothing to do with business or his FaZe contract or anything like that. Listen, this is just leverage for Turner.
I just want to throw this out as well. I haven't seen this clip. I haven't seen this video. I've been streaming this whole time. I'm literally calling all of this stuff out right now before it even happens. Like, I've called out like 4 different things. I paused the video, said something, and then the next 10 seconds, it like...
Turner to get out of his contract, which is fucking sad. Okay, this could have been handled so much differently. I have so much more to say, but in closing, this is complete bullshit. Honestly, I'm so hurt by this. Like,
I'm telling you today.
I'm telling you, 100%. Banks didn't know this was coming. If I was in Turner's position and I wanted to go against my org, I also would not have told anyone that was a part of the org, no matter how close I was to them, because it's kind of like you're betraying that person, you're betraying that trust, you're betraying that, you know. And again, we don't know what happened behind closed doors. We don't know. Like the one of the main parts of the lawsuit is because Tfue has been getting like his sponsors, and I know this personally. It's happened to me before, where like the organization blocks a sponsorship because either it's in direct violation of a FaZe sponsor, right? Like Tfue can't get, like, literally, look at the shirt he's wearing. G Fuel FaZe, right? He can't get a Rebel sponsor, right? So if Rebel went up to, you know, or Monster or whatever, try to sign Tfue, it couldn't be done, like, because it's so. This is, yeah. I mean, I do feel bad for Banksies, dude, right now.
Today, I've been on a roller coaster because obviously, you know, I'm friends with Tfue, I'm friends with you, and when I heard this, I'm like, I cannot believe, you know, FaZe Clan would do this.
Listen, the truth is, I saw something super special in Tfue, okay? This was around the era of Myth and Ninja being, like, the absolute definitive number 1 and 2 in the space.
Dude, some shades about to be thrown at me right now.
They were looked at as the best players. And I would watch their streams, and I would compare them to the kid who was getting 100 viewers. And I played with this kid. I wanted to play with him. I liked him. I personally was attracted to this kid, and I f***ed with him all around. And I decided consciously that I was gonna help this kid out. I hit up Cloak when 72 Hours left the team. There was an open spot on our pro team, and I asked Cloak. Now this is the duo, right? Like, this is the duo. To this day, everyone's watching. They just had a quarter. Like, it makes me happy, and it makes me smile because it's so incredible. But like, now this is happening, so it's like, what?
Like, you hooked Cloaksy and Tfue together.
250,000 people are watching these people yesterday, and I made that happen. You can ask them that. I am the person who made that happen. I hit up Cloak, and I said, yo, I don't normally do this. You're the captain of the team. I know you're looking for the 4th player. I know you're looking to replace Tom, whatever. You gotta promise me you will run some games with this Tfue kid. You have to. Just scrim with him for a few days. That's all I ask. That's all I ask you to do. And you know what Cloak's initial response was? That kid's garbage. He doesn't know how to build, and that's not who we want to pick up. That's what his response was to me.
So you went in and pressured him.
He did not want to play with Tfue. He wanted nothing to do with it, but he did anyways because I asked.
To be fair, for those of you guys who do not know, there was a lot of animosity towards a lot of the fellow H1Z1 players. Like Turner hated me back in H1Z1. He still might. I don't think he does. Cloaksy, we were all part of the H1Z1 community. We were battling for who was the best solo player, duo player, squad team. So and this was before they actually became a duo. There was history between Cloaksy, Tfue, and myself back in H1Z1 as well. So
them too, and they vibed fuck out, and Turner turned out to be the best kid on the team, right?
Wow.
So it's like, dude, what? Not to mention that, dude. You know how this shit works. The snowball effect, adding on, fueling the fire. Kind of what's happening right now on Twitter against it.
I can just say this. I mean, if Cloaksy and Tfue were never in Faze Clan, I never would have invited them to Friday Fortnite.
That's another thing I was gonna ask. Keem, who the added those people to the chat? Who introduced those people to Friday Fortnite?
You did.
Thank you. I mean, you're sitting right here. You're the guy who put it together. You're the guy who made the final say on these kids were nobodies, and I asked you as a favor to let these kids in. And what did I tell you too? I told you these kids are the best. Yep. These kids are gonna fucking win. Give them a chance and they'll win, and they did. And you and I both know what that did for both of them.
Right.
The Friday Fortnite thing was the event of the week. That was what the World Cup is now. That was what that was, and it created a lot of people's careers. A lot of the main big guys, the Nick Mercs and you know what I mean? There were so many people whose careers were catapulted.
So just to 100%, but just to kind of round this up, because now we're going into storytelling and everything. Does this?
It just sucks, man. It hurts.
I know, but there's no way that this can there's not going to be peace. This is too far. I know you said that the reason why he did this is to get out of the contract, and I think that's going to happen. Tfue is not going to be in Faze. How can you guys fix this after this point?
I mean, that's a thought that bothers me. I don't like to think about that because, like I said, I put a lot into this, and I can love the kid, and I think that we could have taken over the world together, and we talked about it a lot. And yeah, you're right. I did ask him to move into the house, and I did teach him how to do Instagram, and I have a chat log on Twitter.
And made him do Jaeger bombs?
Hold on. No, dude, it's not even. That part isn't even funny. It's
I'm
really
sorry.
not.
I had to make a joke.
It's really starting to hit me.
Yeah.
You're
about that drinking thing. Literally, Banks just tweeted a YouTube video of Tfue on Tfue's YouTube channel of him drinking when he was 16 in Mexico. So I don't know why that was made as that he was forced to drink under 21. I think that's a little.
I have miles and miles worth of a DM thread with a thumbnail designer and an editor with Tfue, and I taught him how to do the YouTube stuff. I put so much
lawyers looking for leverage.
Kid,
exactly.
And I've been nothing but a friend of this kid, and I know that I'm the last person in the world that he's trying to hurt with this. I know that it has nothing to do with me and everything to do with how the company operates.
Yeah.
But this is, it's just not right. It's not cool. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
I probably did a horrible job. I mean,
he's trying to wrap it up.
The facts of the matter is, we've collected $60,000 from him. So anybody running around, he's collecting sub money, this and that, it's not true. That stuff is just not true. It's a complete lie. So that's really the only thing that really matters are the facts, and that's what the fact is.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to leave it there. Guys, if you enjoyed this interview and you're glad that we jumped right on it right away, slap a like on it. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe to keep up to date with all the news going on in the community, because as soon as I get the scoop, I'm going to keep you in the loop. DramaAlert Nation, now over 5 million
subscribers. Let's turn this into a learning experience. There are a lot of ways that you can go about situations and handle situations, right? 100. This, like, lawyers don't leak stuff unless they're told to like the press and things like that. So 100% this was leaked. And it was leaked for the sole purpose of putting the pressure on Faze, for sure. I mean, dude. I'm gonna be real with you. This is very weird because I know Turner. I've known Turner for a long time. He's always been an incredibly talented player. You know, does he like? His stream blew up because of the Friday Fortnite. Is it out of focus? I'll zoom it here. Let me like. His stream blew up because of Faze, him being incredibly talented, and the Fortnite Friday, winning all the Fortnite Friday events. Those he got into those events because of Faze. And Banks, obviously, like, literally, what was just said is so calculated, dude. Like, all of this was, dude, this is so rare. You guys don't understand this. Look at every company, every organization ever. They're, like, to reach the level of, like, popularity that Tfue and I have reached, it's definitely because of Fortnite and the fact that Fortnite has this ceiling that doesn't exist, this glass ceiling. It's not there. But, like, no organization has picked up a player and turned them into a god. Like an internet, like 10 million subs on YouTube. Insane viewers on Twitch daily. Like, so, to me, it's almost like, if I would like to think if I was in Turner's situation, I would be grateful. I should be grateful to Faze. However, I still definitely think that there are some things that aren't being said. We don't have the actual legal contract in our hands. So we don't know if Turner is being, you know, held back because of the contract. Because of the Faze contract. I was literally in the same position in terms of my organization wanting to keep me. But once you reach a certain level, like, an organization really doesn't do that much for you. However, when that organization kind of, like, basically helped build you up to where you were, that's just different. It's weird. It's different. So here, the people who are very good at video games and are going to sign with organizations, it's very important that you read the contract. Very important. You don't want to. I didn't read, like, 8 of my contracts that I signed when I was younger, right? And, like, no one reads the contracts. It's like when you're, like, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I was signing contracts and not reading them when I was, like, 23. It was the stupidest thing in the world, okay? Chat, I mean, listen, dude, you just don't read it, right? Listen, it is so important. You can hire a trash lawyer who is a lawyer, and he will know that the contracts that you're signing are usually wrong. Like, they 100% favor the organization, because an organization is not, like, any organization, any team, they're not going to put themselves at risk for one person. Like, they're just not going to. And the whole purpose of an organization is to be able to build up this portfolio of players that they can use their Twitch numbers and their YouTube numbers and their Twitter followers and Instagram followers and all their exposure, build them up into one big portfolio, and then present their millions and millions and millions of impressions to these companies, who will then give them money. And like that's the goal, right? So they're not going to be like, hey, you know what, we're going to let you be different. And sometimes they do. Here's what I do believe. I do believe that Faze 100% tried to renegotiate with Turner and hopefully Cloaksy as well, into having a more fair and amazing contract. But from what Banks I think is saying is that like it just wasn't really possible. Like clearly, Turner wants out, and I get it because I wanted out of my contracts 99% of the time when I was signed with organizations. But like, there's a balance. There's a moment, right? There's a midway point where an organization can benefit you and it can't, right? And 90% of the time, it really can benefit you. Like, especially when you are up and coming, right? Any extra exposure you can get is a win, okay? This is another piece of advice. Please don't sign a contract that's longer than a year. I would say if you are going to sign with any organization, you have every right, and they really truly want you, you have leverage, okay? And a good friend of mine, Niles, once said, if you have the leverage, it's very important to learn when you have it and when you don't. If you have leverage, you want to lean until you feel a give. Like, you want to lean and see how much you can get, right? If you don't have leverage, you don't want to push it all because you're going to get snapped back and might not even get, a deal at all. But if you have leverage, you use it, and you can easily say to any company and any contract and whatever, and you can be like, look, I love you, TSM. I only want to be signed. I want to start off small. I want to do 6 months. And if you are Myth before you got signed, let's say this was Myth, right? Myth could have. He had the power. He had the numbers. He had everything. He had the clout to go to TSM and be like, look, I only want to sign a 6-month contract. And then we'll go from there. And then we'll renegotiate. Like, you don't have to sign the 2-year, 3-year contract that you're, like, usually it's 2-3 years. That's what you're usually signing. Myth probably did have a good contract. He might not have. I don't know. But again, you will save money having someone look over it. Like, you know what I mean? Even if you have to pay for someone to look over it, you'll save money rather than signing it and you have no idea what you just signed. One thing I've learned is even when I wasn't massive, I still had opportunities and deals that came to me that I had taken away from me because I was under an organization. So I do get that. However, again, man, with this whole Faze thing, like, dude, the clout you get from Faze, I don't think you guys understand. I really don't. Faze trick shotters, Faze YouTubers, dude, their YouTubes slap, their tweets, their impressions, they bang. If you have Banks, just look at Banks' Twitter, okay? And like, sometimes he'll go weeks without tweet something, and it'll get like 100,000 favorites, man. Like, he's got clout, dude. He's got that whole organization is nutty. Okay, when you sign with them, like, dude, that 100% skyrocketed Turner. Like, Banks is king clout. He really is. There's so much clout when you sign with Faze. It's unbelievable. All right, so I feel for them both. I'm right in the middle. I love Banks. I think he's he's got a good heart. I definitely feel like he did not know this was coming. I feel like Turner owes Faze. I feel like Faze, clearly messed up a couple of sponsors or opportunities that Turner had. But also, it's like, we don't know. We won't know. We won't know unless Turner tells us the specifics of how much money was offered, who the companies were, and why they were ruined, right? Unless that stuff comes out, we won't really know the facts. What you guys do need to understand is don't hate on Turner. Don't hate on Faze, because this literally shouldn't have even gotten out. I don't know, but I do believe it got out because Tfue or his crew wanted it to get out, so it started this, so that he gets let go. That's the only thing that makes sense. If I was plotting to leave an organization, it wouldn't get out. It wouldn't get out. It would stay between the lawyers, and then the lawyers would send a letter, the letter to TSM or Luminosity or Cloud9 or whoever saying, hey, we're suing you guys. And I don't think Faze wanted it to get out, so it's not like Faze told, like, it. Most importantly, end game, no one deserves hate. And that's it. You guys can do more research and figure stuff out, but I don't think I would like to hear from Tfue, because he's the only person we haven't heard from. We've heard from the article, we've heard from Banks, we've heard from Keem, we've heard from Faze. But who we haven't heard from the specifics is Turner. So, and if he has a lot, you know what I mean? Like, he's the only person who clearly has, you know, the facts of how was he betrayed, how has he lost money, how has he been screwed over, right? Like, so we'll figure it out.